Hey there, people. Earlier today, I heard the BBC reporting on Israel's advance into Gaza City with several tanks. I'm not sure exactly when, but at one point my eyes rolled so far back into my head that it did something to my brain, something that was the final straw and beyond the pale in the way it was being reported and analysed to the extent that it's led me to do something I've never done before. Officially complain to the state broadcaster. I'll dictate the letter here to you, and I'd like to know what you think, as well as what you would add to the short list of intolerables that I wrote about in the comments below. Let's see what's happening. Dear BBC News, I've been reading, watching and listening to your coverage of Israel's occupation of Gaza for some time now. Owing to a series of calamitous omissions and what is becoming an obvious sense of bias in your TV, webpage and radio content, I feel I have to register a complaint.
Hello, I wish to register a complaint.
While the examples I'd like to cite are numerous, for the sake of brevity, I will focus on your reporting since late 2023, when Hamas launched their counter-offensive against the occupying IDF forces in Palestine. I've broken them down into a few categories within which I'll include one or two examples.
Everybody got that? Good.
Number 1. Israel says. Since October 7th, 2023, Israel have made many statements in the press and sent their spokes into mainstream platforms such as the BBC. On every single occasion, they provide nothing but demonstrable lies and obvious propaganda, yet still you continue to platform them and read out their press releases. The absolute primary function of BBC News is to inform the public of facts, not to platform known and proven liars for the sake of balance. There's no balance where the truth is concerned, and to give any credibility to a reputably untrustworthy source not only demeans the BBC, but also insults the intelligence of your audience. The same applies to repeatedly referring to the likes of David Mensah or Tzipi Hotovelli if anything that leaves their mouths is in any way tied to the truth. Licence fee payers simply want the facts, not the regurgitation or platforming of obvious propaganda. The same applies to the way that guests are interrupted to be informed what Israel would say by the host, as if it was their very job to represent Israel for lack of an official spokesperson within the conversation. This form of cutting in is for some reason exclusive to discussions about Israel's actions. Why is this?
I wonder. Don't do that. I wonder.
Number 2. Hamas run. This phrase appears every time you are reporting on the latest stats and figures from an attack by Israel, or when reporting on the famine within Palestine in relation to the country's statements from their ministries, etc. Whether the BBC like it or not, Hamas are the current government within Gaza, and so naturally their departments will be run by them. When you mention Israel, this is not prefixed by the words US-backed or UK-armed, therefore I can only assume that you do this to perhaps imply that Hamas's figures or reports are not reliable, yet on the whole, throughout the occupation their reporting has proved to be accurate. Again, this is evidence of further bias in favour of Israel. Number 3. Military operation. This phrase and variations thereof are found in abundance when the BBC are reporting on Israel's actions. This is certainly an incredible way to report an illegal annexation of land and an unlawful occupation of another country. As I write this, BBC Radio 4 are reporting on Israel moving their tanks further into Gaza City as if they were reporting on a landscape gardening project or a loft conversion on a daytime TV show, rather than a murderous invasion that has led to the ICC issuing an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu. Words such as illegal or unlawful are shockingly absent from your reporting on these matters, as well as in the headlines of your articles, speaking of which, your repeated and intentional omissions of how Palestinians are killed and by whom is again deeply concerning. On far too many occasions the header will simply read that they died and state the location that they were in, as if they just dropped dead without any reason or a culprit to blame. On this matter, I find such reports very different in tone to the reporting on other conflicts happening in the world, such as Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which ironically they describe as a military operation the same way that you report on illegal annexations. I've combed through many articles, listened to and watched hundreds of your reports, and trying to find the word illegal is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Number 4. Those two sentences. Open any BBC News webpage article published since October 7, 2023, any of them, and you will, with absolute certainty, find the following sentence, usually at or towards the end of the report. Israel's military launched a campaign in Gaza in response to the Hamas-led, see, there it is again,
oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about.
Attack on southern Israel on 7th of October 2023, in which about 1,200 people were killed and 251 others were taken hostage. We do not see any mention of the IDF firing on Israeli citizens at the Solar Music Festival, which contributed significantly towards the 1,200 people that were killed. We do not see any mention of the fact that prior to October 7th, 2023, had already been one of the deadliest years in history for Palestinians, or perhaps the reason why a government's military wing might be motivated to perform a breakout attack on their illegal oppressors. Nor do we hear about the fact that an occupied country may defend itself by any means under international law. This did not begin just under 2 years ago, yet the BBC persists in ensuring that this narrative is published in every single article. It's been happening for decades. Decades. Print that in every story.
Damn right!
I'll finish with perhaps the worst example of descriptive journalism evidence in your content. One simple, yet inaccurately and repeatedly used word that is even in a subcategory of the main BBC News webpage. War. Now, at the risk of paraphrasing the late great Bill Hicks on this matter,
there never was a war. How can you say that, Bill? Well, a war is when two armies are fighting.
Palestine do not have an army, a navy, or an air force, or even one airport for that matter. This is not a war. It's occupation that only the biased or utterly dim could fail to recognise. An occupation by a country that thinks it's the exception to war crimes and treats anyone who questions them like they came down with the last drop of rain. A country that is committing such heinous acts that it prevents foreign journalists from entering Gaza and has been shown to deliberately target them, with no less than 5 being killed within the last week, adding to the record amount set some time ago. Your fellow professionals are being slain, and instead of showing solidarity, you give those responsible an easy ride, or even worse, fall over yourselves to parrot the lies of the responsible. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help us out on the algorithm. You can now join the channel with a membership for just 99p with some great perks for you to enjoy, including exclusive content and early viewings, plus lots more. And you get to join the list of awesome people who support the channel that you can see on your screen right now. Hit the join button or follow the links in the channel description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks on the video or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page, where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again everyone. My left eye will be seeing you soon.